Fitness Matters. Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. You are listening to Mental Fitness Matters. I am your host, Tracy Alston, and this is WSIC Radio. I hope you guys are still having a great week, continuously staying safe, taking care of yourselves, taking care of your family, and taking care of the community. I am pumped about today's show and today's amazing guests. We're going to have a really good conversation today. But before we get into that, I think we would all agree that it may be a little too early to really determine the long-term impact caused by the global pandemic of this coronavirus. But I think it's clear that things will permanently change from how our society really functions. We don't know the long-term impact, but I think we really do know that this is going to change how we function as a society going forward. From the global impact of our economy to our daily lives, COVID-19 will leave an enormous impact on how we learn, how we consume information, how we work, how we socialize and communicate. Everything's changed. Everything's gone remote, remote learning. So this change has been, seamless for some. Some people may have experienced an increase in business, an increase in opportunity, an advantage. Others are experiencing challenges, and some are just devastated by having everything change so abruptly. It has really devastated their life and their business. And so on today's show, we're going to talk about technology and mindset. Technology and mindset, the impact that technology can have on your business, on your life, and on your overall health and performance. And joining me today remotely, I have an amazing few people with me from an amazing team, a company that is crushing it in this space, Biz Technology Solutions. They are the leaders in information technology and services, and they are helping so many people and companies overall, but especially during this time. I have Melissa Smith-White. She's the Director of Sales and Marketing. And Reba Chouffani, he's the co-founder and vice president of development from Biz Technology Solutions. So they are joining us remotely. I am so glad to have you guys. Good morning. Welcome to the show. If you guys could just let our audience know a little bit about yourselves individually and about the company Biz Technology Solutions.
Good morning, Tracy. I'll go ahead and get started if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So a little bit about myself. Moved to North Carolina about 3 years ago, joined BizTech about 6 months ago, but have really enjoyed both. I had an IT minor in college. I graduated in 1997. So if that tells you anything about me, and I really didn't, when I graduated college with an IT minor, that was right when computers were coming out, right? That was right when it was dial-up internet. My graduation gift was a desktop computer for my home. We were going to the computer lab. I remember, and this tells you also, so I have two children. I have a son and a daughter. But when I graduated college, my son was an infant. And so, I took the long road to graduate college, but I would carry him in his pumpkin seat to the computer lab to do my work that I had to turn in. So my experience with technology really started, I don't want to say when technology started, but I mean, I've got some background and history in understanding how far we've come. Let me just say that, and how far we can go. One of the things that I think that we will see moving forward, and I'm really excited about where Biz Technology is positioned and where I'm positioned, is that technology more and more is becoming like air, right? We need it. Yeah. We need it to function. And so in a pandemic, for sure, it has proven itself worthy of all of the investments and all of the time that people have dedicated. And even, again, moving forward, a little bit about Biz Technology. And let me also give a shout out to my wonderful husband, Todd White. So just wanted to say that. So married, 2 kids, and love North Carolina. Thanks for having us, by the way. So Biz Technology Solutions. When I moved here, I really took my time in finding the right fit. So I'm at a point in my career where I'm not looking for my first job. I was looking for my last, if you will. And I really wanted to find a good match for me. And one of the things that I love about Biz Technology is they really partner with companies, small to medium-sized companies, to support, manage, and streamline IT. So they're really they're as invested in your success as a partner as they are in their own. And I think what happens is, when the tide rises, we all rise together. When the tide goes out, we all go out together. So there's a true partnership, and I like that. I like relationships. I like being able to help people, right? And that's ultimately what we're doing through technology. Retta, how about you?
No, I think, well, first of all, since we're doing shout outs, I have to do a shout out too now.
Okay, do it.
Definitely my wonderful wife, Kimberly, 17 years together, and she's putting up with me. And of course, my two kids, Lucas and Soraya. So I would say that it's the same reasons I got into this business. I graduated from UNC Charlotte, so a local alumni, and really enjoyed helping people with their computer problems. It was partly because I enjoy helping others, and partly because, I'm a geek. I love computers, I love equipment and hardware. And over the years, you'll learn that, there's a great opportunity to help more people. And I think that was the main premise behind starting the company, literally out of an apartment in Charlotte, where myself and my brother just decided, we're going to give it a shot. And, fast forward 20 years later, we have 40 plus employees, and still truly blessed to have all these people here helping other clients and, with all their computer problems and everything, because they can get really frustrating sometimes, those computers, and generally technology can be a pain, but definitely fortunate there.
That is awesome. And what I'm hearing from both of you guys is just the passion and the mindset around innovating and seeing the potential in terms of where we're going and things that we need to do. And I'm just excited to have you. Let's get into it. Let's talk tech and mindset. What types of challenges or what types of things have you guys seen from a company standpoint as it relates to everything going remote? Have you guys noticed anything with your customers, your clients within your own company?
Well, I would say from working remote, obviously, no one was really well prepared for what we're having to deal with today. And it is unfortunate, but the reality is, while some companies have had an opportunity to have some of their employees work remotely, including ourselves. In fact, we have a number of folks that are working from, Washington, D.C. as an example, and other areas. And over the past, few years, now you fast forward when you start talking about other businesses that may have never had to experience working remote. A lot of their challenges that they're having to deal with relate to, connectivity. Do they have adequate bandwidth at their homes to connect and be able to have meetings? We all remember the days where we had dial-up. You couldn't have video chat in those days, or it takes forever to download a picture. Well, there's still some folks that not only have some situations where maybe their computers at home are not fast enough, but the internet is slow. Other times it's just the fact that people are not really comfortable being able to do some of the work at home where, there's sensitive information, which brings up the whole subject of security. There's several business owners out there, when they have some of their employees working from home, they're not certain that, the privacy laws are going to be respected, since, you have a computer at home. And if you have kids and other folks looking at the computer, where's that, line where, it's not secure enough, or maybe the computer at home is not secure enough and it could potentially introduce viruses. So there's definitely a number of things that are concerning for business owners and organizations if they're in a specific vertical, finance, healthcare, things like that. But overall, there's still some great opportunities still, because ultimately, when you consider the folks that have been able to adjust, you can practically do quite a bit from home with just a computer and obviously a camera. You can talk on the phone, you can have a video conference, you can still have your weekly huddles or daily meetings with your clients or just internal coworkers. You can still check your email. And then you obviously have an incredible opportunity there to be around your family too. Not that, having two dogs bark in the background like I've experienced, unfortunately, can be a distraction. But ultimately, it's kind of nice to have the kids, do their homework, and every once in a while take a break to go get some coffee or something to drink or a snack. say hi, hello, and then get back to your desk.
Absolutely. And I think you brought up a
I
good.
would agree.
Oh, go ahead, Melissa. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, I would agree. I think that while, people weren't necessarily prepared, some of us have dipped our toe in the pond of remote access and working from home, but all of the things that Retta said are accurate. And what I've found just in us reaching out to our clients, they like the visibility with the collaboration tools. So, for example, Zoom, they like being able to see someone. And I know for myself, I'm a very social person. So the isolation piece of it, this is my outlet now. So to the mental fitness part of it, I think the fact that we have the capabilities, the goal is educating everybody and making sure that everybody understands the capabilities and the risk. There's cost benefit to everything. So, the benefits, and then what are the risks that I need to mitigate to make sure that, because it's not just us, like Retta touched on with the kids, while we are trying to collaborate and do work, the kids are collaborating and going to school, right?
Absolutely.
And so making sure that, we've done things as far as trying to help educate our clients on, bring your own device policies. Like Retta said, if there's one computer that the family uses, then what does that mean as far as private information? So I would agree. That's all I'm going to say.
That's awesome. And I think you guys were touching on a good point as it relates to security, especially when you're looking into the healthcare industry and everything kind of from a mental health and just a healthcare in general, working with healthcare organizations on setting up the privacy now that we're doing a lot more online remote type work, having the HIPAA laws and those types of things in place. So that security piece is really important. Have you guys seen any stressors from your clients? Is there any kickback in terms of now that we're really being pushed into this realm? If they weren't already there, have you guys noticed an uptick in stress for whether it's your own staff or the people that you serve?
Well, I would say, one of the stresses is obviously the concern that, are we able to perform all of our responsibilities? There are certainly some businesses that do require some human interaction, obviously essential businesses, whether it's in healthcare or electricians or other folks that are constantly out there in the field. For a lot of the folks that are working remotely, they recognize that there's obviously certain gaps. A simple example would be somebody that does accounting. If they're working from home, are they able to print the checks? Well, in most instances, they probably can't, or they will have to get, some equipment. Those are some of the things that we're seeing that are creating some stress. The other part is obviously the concerns of, not having the social interaction with the team members, because it is uncharted territory for some folks that have never had, to work remotely and work with others, where they're typically surrounded with their coworkers and they can just, go next door to their office or their cubicle and say, hi, I have a question, I need help. Now they're actually having to rely on digital communication, real-time chat, phone calls, video conferences. And that can be overwhelming for some folks that are not used to it. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, from our standpoint, our focus is to try to bridge the gap where technology can help. And ultimately, if somebody says, I can't print documents or review them, we would suggest, well, have you thought of maybe adding another monitor at home where you don't actually have to print anything? Mm-hmm. Or, hey, I want to be able to receive calls, and typically our clients call our office. Well, there's voice over IP, or basically you can still have the work phone ring at your computer and still have a full conversation with your clients. And those are scenarios that, as long as we understand what those stressors are, mm-hmm. we can make recommendations around what technology components may fill that gap and help them.
I love that, Retta.
So yeah. A couple things. I'm so sorry.
No, keep going. It's perfect.
A couple things that I was going to add as it related to stressors. So a fair number of our clients are in healthcare. And, one of the things that I think that we have been toying with as a society is telemedicine. And what we've seen is they have had to immediately embrace the telemedicine concept. And so some of them were prepared, have been doing it. There's certain specialties that do a lot more telemedicine than others. For example, like dermatology does telemedicine, mental health does a lot of telemedicine. But then there are also specialties that were, again, toying with it, tiptoeing into it. So I think from a stressor perspective, as it relates to both, public and then professionals, I think everybody's got to be patient with each other, because we're all in it together, as we know. But I think that's one of the stressors. The other stressor is oftentimes people see technology as a commodity, right? They don't see it as a platform of enablement, I guess, is what I'm saying. So from, I think what you're going to see is people think of technology and they're like, oh, it's a necessary evil. I have to have it. I need my email. I need, to be able to, file my stuff on the computer. They don't see it as an opportunity to really look into their business and how can I make myself more nimble as a small to medium-sized business in order to maximize my growth potential. And so I think what you're going to see is a lot of people rethinking those things as well. And so, technology, it's a balance. Everything in life is a balance, right?
Yeah.
And so what I want people to understand is you don't have to be stressed over technology. That's what we're here for. We're here to help alleviate that. We're here to guide you through that, especially now when it's even more critical. So those are the things that I would add.
I like that, Melissa. And I think this is a great place to take a quick break. And when we come back, I want you guys to talk about how Biz Technology is helping people and how you can help small businesses or entrepreneurs, people right now, get going in this and maximizing this opportunity that we all have right in front of us. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to continue to meet with Melissa and Reba for Biz Technology Solutions, and we'll get back into it. Hey, welcome back. You are listening to Mental Fitness Matters. I am your host, Tracy Alston, and this is WSIC Radio. And today we are talking about technology and mindset, the impact that tech can have on your business, life, and performance. And I am with Melissa Smith-White, Director of Sales and Marketing, and Reba Chouffani, the VP of Biz Technology Solutions. And we are just going to talk about now, if you guys could give us a brief idea of how you guys can come in and support people where they are to maximize this opportunity with tech.
So I would say, we have two things that we've done to help businesses, entrepreneurs, individuals folks that are out there, whether they're our clients or not, it really doesn't matter. But the first one is education. On a weekly basis, we've been putting out webinars that can help educate folks on either the challenges or working remotely. What are some of the things that they need to be aware of and be prepared for, not just from the technology aspect. I mean, obviously, there's other things like working remotely policy. Do you have your insurance, set up correctly for cybersecurity? There's a number of things, but education has been a big focus of ours during these times. The second one is really just reaching out to all of the clients that we have. And that's really critical for us because ultimately, at the end of the day, we are here to serve them. And what we want to do is reach out to them to find out if they're going through a hardship, if we need to work with them, but also just asking the questions. How are you doing? What do you need help with? And then that really empowers them to reach back out to us and say, you know what, I've had this issue trying to work remotely. What are the opportunities for us to address them and adjust to them? And that's been extremely beneficial. I would say those are our two main things that we've been doing. Now, the other part is as we go through and start working with our clients, the areas we focus on once we define that, you know what, there is something that we can do for them. We start off by let's identify ways to bridge the gap for you through technology for the things that, you need to do remotely or you need to have your employees do remotely. That's very important because we want to eliminate the stress that you mentioned earlier. The second one, too, that we focus on is securing the systems. That is absolutely a must-have. Whether we're dealing with HIPAA regulations, PCI, or there's a number of other regulations out there that businesses have to adhere to, we want to make sure that their systems are protected and also that their systems are going to stay up and running without any viruses or ransomware or any of those things. So that's key. The third item is really planning for the future. There's so much uncertainty to what it's going to look like moving forward, after all of this goes away. And it may never go away for a while, but at least being able to sit down with them and plan that they may not be, obviously working from home indefinitely, but what would that look like as they start coming back, opening their doors and things like that. And they may adjust where, a lot of the workforce may work remotely and only a few will be at the office. How would that look like? And just really helping them with that.
Yeah, and the only thing I would add to what Red is sharing is, really those things are, we have defined a discipline processes that we take both our clients and potential clients through. And initially what we're trying to do is make sure that we are a good fit for the needs that people have. And part of doing that is having conversation just like this. Tell me about what's important about IT to you. What are you trying to accomplish? And so once we have a better understanding, and we call this the value fit process, when we have that first conversation and we understand what's important to you, and with some people, it is the infrastructure. Some of it is, I just want my technology to work. Okay.
Right.
Some of it is, hey, we've had a breach and we've had ransomware and I don't ever want that to happen again. And some people are, our technology is working okay, but our trajectory of our business is here and we want to be here. How can technology help us do that? Mm-hmm. So depending on what's important to you, that kind of helps us guide that conversation. But ultimately, we're going to go in and we're going to do a network assessment and we're going to do a deep dive, a diagnostic, if you will, so that we have a better understanding of not just the objective or the subjective piece of what's important to you, but objectively, what needs to happen for you to accomplish your goals. And then we're going to marry those two things together.
Real quick, how can they reach you
Yes.
guys? How can they reach you?
They can reach us. biztechnologysolutions.com is our website, but they can reach us. My phone number directly, I'm going to give it to you, 704-230-2053 is my phone number. My email is msmithwhite@biztechnologysolutions.com.
That is perfect. And guys, we have about 20 seconds left. I want to just thank you guys for what you're doing to keep people online and let people know that you don't have to be afraid of technology. You can succeed through this. You can thrive. Thank you guys for joining us. I'll see you guys soon. I want my Mental Fitness Matters community to shine bright like the stars that you are. Have a great week. Keep your family safe.